Hey everyone, Les Herger from ComfortableShoesStudio.com and ArtJournaling.ning.com, answering some more questions. Lucy over on ArtJournaling.ning.com asked the question about gesso. And the base part of the question is, does she always need to prep her pages with gesso? And the easy answer to that is no. Gesso is optional for many certain types of paper. You don't have to use gesso if you don't want to use gesso. If you like the texture of your paper, you don't have to use it. If you want the texture of gesso, you can use it. The purpose of gesso is really to seal the page and to give you some extra tooth. So if you're using a media that requires tooth, or you want to get a lot of the media onto the page, that's when you'd use gesso. Or also gesso is for sealing the page against other types of media. The initial use of it was to seal a canvas against oil paint so that the oil in the oil paint wouldn't rot your canvas. I use gesso a lot of the time because I really like the texture. If I'm going to use a Sharpie on a thin page, I will gesso the page initially so that the Sharpie doesn't bleed through the paper. If I'm going to use a heavy application of acrylic paints, I'll also seal the page with gesso so that it can support more of the acrylic paint. Using gesso can also help keep the page from buckling. Lots of reasons to use it. It is not absolutely necessary unless you're using oil paints, and even then sometimes people will still use oil paints on raw paper. Types of paper that don't necessarily need gesso. Watercolor papers don't need gesso. Printmaking papers, something like Stonehenge, doesn't require gesso for it to work well. So yeah, quick answer for a question. There you go, gesso. Not necessary all of the time.